Hello and welcome into my very messy craft room, as it always is. I'm sure many of you may have equally messy craft rooms. My name, if we haven't met before, is Helen Jennings. I'm here in the UK, and it is always a delight to come on and join you for stamp camps. And this is my project from the tutorial bundle, which is what I've called it an angled fold back card, just off the top of my head. So let me bring in my downward facing camera and introduce you to the project for today. So we have lots of shiny foil, so that never works well with these cameras and things, but this is our card, and as you can see, it's got a fold back element here that has been angled, hence the name, and some of the DSP, and I've used some of those floral and images and foliage images from the stamp and die cut them and sort of built up a little scene on a little arrangement, really, rather than a scene on the front there. So let me show you how I have created this card. I've done quite a bit of the die cutting and things ahead of time so that you don't have to watch me doing that necessarily. So you will have got a standard card base. Now here in the UK, obviously we are A4 cardstock and metric measurements, but your tutorial will have both. So excuse me if I do give out any metric measurements, that's what we are using here. But the correct measurements for your cardstock and your card will be on your tutorial. So, good start. Let me find my paper trimmer, because the first thing we're going to do is to put an extra score on this card base. So you've got your card base here, and I want to put a score 4 centimeters in from this edge. So I'm going to turn it round and I'm going to score at 4 centimeters, or whatever it is that the tutorial tells you need to do. So we've then got a 6.5 centimeter panel and a 4 centimeter panel, and I am going to fold that back on itself and burnish it. So we've got a fairly simple fold back card idea then, but now we're going to create the angle, and to do that we're simply going to open up our card base, and where this score line is at the top here, we're going to pop that in line with our trimmer, the bed on our trimmer here, and then this bottom corner. So we want to cut from that score line at the top there to this bottom corner just here. So we've got no panel at all at the top, and the complete width of the panel at the bottom. So let's cut that up there, and then we will have this sort of an effect. And that little piece of grey granite can be put to one side. I shall probably make use of that in a minute, but you'll probably have a piece in your pack to do the sentiment, but I shall use that for my sentiment in a minute. So there we are, we have our basic card base with this fold back piece on it, and onto that we are going to stick some DSP. So I have got this piece here, this gold foil with these white embossed all over flowers on it. So let's put some of that on the back here. I am actually using Tombow multi-purpose adhesive. I have just decanted some into this little bottle with a fine tip on it, just because I find that easier for little die cut pieces and things. So let's pop that. That's going to go on the inside of our card. On the front here, I've got this grey granite with the white flowers on it. So let's pop that on this piece just here. A bit of a push down, And then we need a piece to come on here. So I've got a piece here. This was 4 centimeters wide. This is actually 3.5 centimeters wide by 14.4 long. So this is 14.4 by 10. This is 14.4 by 6, or whatever the imperial equivalent was. But for this piece here, I'm going to do exactly the same as we did with the first front of the card. We're going to go from this top edge here, this top corner here, to this opposite bottom corner just here. And then that should fit nicely on there. So we're letting this gorgeous paper do a lot of the work for this card. Lovely sort of neutral colours. And quite nice in that we've got the grey granite just here, we've got then the gold here, and then this centerpiece with this script on, it's got the grey granite script with the gold blobs that sort of tends to take that all the way across the card. So that is our basic card base. The only other thing that we might want to put in is a panel just here to write our sentiment and things on. So I've got a piece just there that is 13.9 by 5.5 that will just sit in there so that we can write our greeting. Now I have die cut 2 stitched squares here. So the largest stitch square and the next size down. So the largest one in grey granite, the next size down in basic white. I've got some grey granite ink just here. And I have taken this stamp that has this field notes written on it with the numbers and the script and the sort of stamp image on the bottom here. Let's go to try a piece of scrap paper. Up. I'm going to stamp this off. So we're going to be working on our basic white stitched square. I'm going to ink that off and then I'm going to stamp it off before stamping that on there along this left hand edge just there. And then I'm going to take the splatter stamp. Anybody that knows me knows I love a splatter stamp, and we're going to do some splatters over there as well. So that is our background piece. We have got a scripty piece with some splatters just to create our background. And I'm going to stick that now onto my grey granite square. And I'm going to actually stick this in place because then I shall know what angle to put my flowers and things on. Now, obviously, we're not going to want to put glue or adhesives across the entire back of this grey granite square. We just need them to go part of the way across. Now, what I have done is I've sort of laid that on the same angle as the card is coming up here and sort of slid it across so that you've got this sitting at the same angle that this is. So line it up, slide it across. It may not be absolutely perfect, but it's going to be rounded about. It will be if you don't let go of it and it slip again. So about there, I'm looking to see if this is about the same as this here, which it is. Just going to take a pencil and put a pencil mark on the back there, because this is the section I don't want to put any glue on, and this is the section that I do. Let's take that out there. We will stick that on, and that will then hold that fold back in place so that it doesn't ping open. So there's our basics of our card. We now just need to build up some bits and pieces on it. And as I say, I have already done some die cutting. So what I have got in here is I have taken this foliage die from the die set, and using this same gold paper just here, I have die cut 3 sets of these leaves. 1, 2, there should be another one somewhere. There is, it's still in the bottom of the pot. So we've got 3 sets of these leaves, so die cut from a small piece of this paper using that die. I have stamped 2 of this image in grey granite, and I have die cut those. Got 2 of those. And then this flower just here, this looks like a hibiscus to me. So this flower just here, I have stamped that in Versamark and heat embossed it in gold. So we have 1, 2, 3 gold embossed flowers. So those are all the pieces that we are going to use to build up onto our piece just here. So we'll have one coming sort of this way. Let's lay them out, and then we can add our other bits in. We'll have, come here, these here, and then these bits. We'll have one sort of coming up here. One coming out here. And then this third one, I'm just going to take my scissors. Let me just hold that down so they hopefully don't ping. And I'm just going to fussy cut this one so that we lose the foliage part of it. And just have the flower. It's going to pop it in there. So let's add these bits in. I'm just going to add some glue to the bottom leaves and stalk just here, but I'm not going to worry about putting any adhesive in the top there. That can be fairly free flowing. One coming down here. One coming up here. Bit of adhesive there. I'm going to tuck that one behind the gold flowers. This one I'm going to have coming above. I'm going to find some mini dimensionals. I'll have one here. Move that up a little bit. We'll have this one coming across here. And this one has sort of tucked in slightly, coming out from underneath there. And there we have our little arrangement of flowers in gold and grey granite. So we're just sticking to those colours. Now I've chosen a "Today is all about you, happy birthday" sentiment. It could be all sorts of things. It could be a sympathy card almost, these sort of colourways, or just generally thinking about you, get well soon. All of those things would work. I'm going to take my grey granite ink. I'm going to ink up the sentiment that, as I said, says "Today is all about you, happy birthday." Put a strip of basic white here. I don't know about you, but I have so many strips of basic white. I gather them up. I'm going to trim the end of that. Take a bit off the top here as well. Right, today is all about you. I've actually got another "Today is all about you" just here that I have stamped in Versamark and heat embossed in gold. I'm just going to cut out the happy birthday section. And I'm going to add that over the top here. Like that. Now you've got that gold happy birthday. I'm thinking I should be able to back this with this oddment of grey granite. To say, you've probably got a strip in your kit that I'm just going to make the most of the piece that is sitting on my desk already. Okay. We're going to have this coming this way. We're also going to take some of the trim, so this gorgeous leather, faux leather trim with the gold sparkle on. I'm just going to do a whirl of it. A bit like that. I'll take a tiny little bit of tear and tape. Just want to tear a little bit off. There we go. Now I've lost my whirl. Trying so hard not to lose my whirl, and I lost it anyway. Let's just have a little bit of that to hold that in place. Then let's take our sentiment and we will add that over the top with some dimensionals. And let's put dimensionals this end, and I think we'll just have a couple. We don't want them to go right to the end because it'll stick to the card over here. They go right to the end, so I've brought them in on the end of the strip. And we'll have that coming across there like that. And then to finish it off, let's bring in some of the cork rounds. We'll just add some of these. One up there, and we'll bring one in on that edge, just there. So lots of lovely textures with the faux ribbon and the cork and shiny gold, as well as the sort of the grey and the embossing and a bit of everything going on there. So I hope you have enjoyed that little project and that you will enjoy creating your own, and in fact you'll enjoy the entire stamp camp experience. So that is all from me for now. I will be back for the live video on the day, and look forward to doing some more crafting with you and with this bundle and these products then. So until then, happy crafting.